The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this third week of webinars on the foundations of elite health. And I'm really excited to be sharing tonight's information with you. Got some people joining the call. Hello, Rachel Dobson. Hello, Sue Sharp. Hello, Phil Fetzer. Haven't seen you for a while. Hello, Miriam, Marlene, Marjorie, and Claire Johnston. Not sure I know that name. So we'll just give it a few more minutes and let some other people get on. Nicola Dryber, hello. Rachel Tate, hello. Chris Reynolds, hello. Come on, guys, don't leave me sitting here all on my own. Angie Watson, hi Angie. So I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes and then I'll get started. Perhaps not a couple of minutes, perhaps another 30 seconds and we'll get going. Hello, Deirdre Peck. Hi, Jenny Hock. Jeremy Townsend. Michael Cross, hello. Samantha J. Okay, so I think we're going to make a start because otherwise we'll end up running behind. So I want to start by talking to you today about my morning this morning. So I went to visit a couple of ladies, one with fibromyalgia and one with high blood pressure and arthritis. And I met them when I went to do a talk to their fibromyalgia support group about health and well-being. After I spoke to them all about diet and hydration and about the Bowen technique and Synergy's products, these two particular ladies both decided that they would like to try the Bowen technique, and they also decided that they would like to try Body Prime, which is our magnesium supplement. So we booked their Bowen session for a month's time. And they went away with instructions on how to take their Body Prime. So when I next saw them, Val had gone from who was the lady with high blood pressure and arthritis. She was also struggling with sleep, and she's gone from sleeping 2 hours a night to 6 or 7 hours a night, and this was just on 2 Body Prime capsules a day. And Belinda was looking much brighter in her face, but she actually didn't really connect to any improvement in herself. So I had a little bit of a chat with her and at that point in time and told her that I could actually see a difference in her face. She looked brighter, and the bags under her eyes weren't quite so dark. So she was quite inspired by that, so she decided to carry on. And another month later, which was today when I went to see them, she now has had some real improvements. The biggest one being that she now has regular bowel movements. Now, up until this point, she had to take lactulose every day in order to have a bowel movement. And both ladies were feeling a significant improvement in their bodies with both Bowen and Synergy's Body Prime. So we were having a chat about what else they might do, and then came the music to my ears. So Belinda said, well, I suppose it's an investment in your health, isn't it? We wouldn't think twice about putting petrol and oil in our cars and getting them serviced. So that was great. I mean, this is exactly what we're looking for. They've both determined to continue to make changes to their diets and to put extra nutrition into their bodies in the form of our Pro Arginine Plus and Phytolife, and to work towards a goal of reducing their medications with their doctors. So this pretty much sums up what myself and my colleagues believe, and this is why we do what we do and why we like to help people achieve elite health. Now, you'd think that my morning was complete. I was feeling pretty good after that, feeling like I'd done some good. But there was extra little gem that was determined to come my way. So I get in the car to drive home, and I'm listening to Jeremy Vine on Radio 2. And what should pop up next? Coming up next is Professor Edward Bulmore, who is a Fellow of the Royal College of Physicians of London, a Fellow of the Royal College of Psychiatrists, and a Fellow of the Academy of Medical Sciences. And he will be talking about the link between inflammation and depression. Well, it's like Christmas today, I thought, because guess what I'm going to be talking about on tonight's webinar, but inflammation. So Dr. Bulmore has written a book called The Inflamed Mind. And this book reveals the breakthrough new science on the link between depression and inflammation of the body and brain. He explains what we now know about how and why mental disorders can have their roots in the immune system, and outlines a future revolution in which treatments could be specifically targeted to break the vicious cycle of stress, inflammation, and depression. So, like I said, Christmas. So I can see that my lovely friend Kim Bradley is on the line, and I think I'd like her to pop in if she doesn't mind and see if she's as excited by this as I am. You there, Kim?
Hi, Kat. Yes, I am. I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks, Kat.
Good.
It's fascinating, that piece of information you shared there, actually, because I've been working with Synergy for a long time, and I've helped lots of people with mood and mindset, and they've said how better they felt, happier, more content, and it's all coming together now, isn't it? It's all linking in.
It really is.
Fascinating. Yeah.
It really is, and it's so quick as well that things can start to happen so quickly once you get that extra nutrition into the body.
It really does. I remember when I first started on the products, I had quite a lot of inflammation in my joints because I've been a masseuse for a lot of years, and particularly my left shoulder had become virtually frozen. In my Pilates class, I just couldn't lift my arm above my head at all without really wincing in pain. And my thumb joints and everything was in such a state. And it was about that time when I started on the V3 products. And to be honest with you, it didn't occur to me that they might help with the joint pain. I just thought they make good sense to put in some good nutrition in my body, really.
Yeah, you think something like that is probably a mechanical issue, wasn't you? That you'd maybe need to, I don't know, go and get some plunking or something done.
Exactly.
Or a massage yourself.
Massage myself. This is so true. And I just took the V3 because I thought, well, I know my diet's not bad, but I know it could easily be improved. So, but you know what surprised me was that, and as you said about things, inflammation coming down so quick within a short period of time, and I would say really we're looking at about 2 or 3 weeks, which is really a very short period of time. I was back at my Pilates class, and I remember it to this day. I was lifting my arm above my head, and my face was wincing, ready for the pain, but my arm just kept going back and back and back, and I realized suddenly, hang on a minute, there's absolutely no pain there. And I kept doing this windmill movement on the floor, thinking, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. And it was as though my joints felt suddenly more lubricated now that crushing inflammation had come down. Yeah. And it stayed the same ever since. So it was a big relief, really, because having helped people with frozen shoulder, I just know how difficult it is for that to heal. So
it really is. It's a real struggle, that frozen shoulder, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I've treated people in my clinic with that, in my bone clinic with that. But, you know, when you start to add, and it helps somewhat, but when you start to add in that extra nutrition as well to actually get the body to start doing something from the inside, the results are even better.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's definitely one of the reasons, you know, why I started to introduce these products, you know, after having such great results myself, because people need extra for sure. So you're not massaging anymore, so you don't need to worry about hammering your shoulder anymore. No, although, did you say you had your last client today?
Oh, well, no, I have one client that I've been seeing for 15 years, and he's the only person I see for massage now, and he's more of a family friend, I would say. So, Not
Well,
too bad.
that's a testament to your massaging skills, and I'm sure is the fact that he doesn't want to go and find somebody else.
No, I think possibly you're right. I hope so.
Thanks, Kim. That's really great. And I will see you soon.
Yes, thanks, Kat.
Cheers. Okay, so this week, as you know, it's Cardiovascular Week. Sue Thomas kicked off with nitric oxide yesterday, and tonight I will be talking about inflammation and reducing cell damage. So if you know of anyone who suffers with cardiovascular issues, then please invite them onto the webinars this week, or get in touch with who invited you on, and maybe we can share some of the recordings with you. So just going to try and click on. There we go. So just a quick look at the rest of the week. So we've got Fatima tomorrow with increasing cardiovascular function. We've got Julia on Thursday, improving cardiovascular flow, and the lovely Lynn on Friday with what makes Synergy products different. So a little bit about me before I start. I'm a Bowen practitioner and have been for 2 years. So previous to that, I was a very successful IT professional. I decided to make the change a couple of years ago after a takeover of the company that I worked for. It became impossible for me to work with my new boss. So armed with my newly trained Bowen skills, I took a leap of faith and decided to become self-employed. I'd been using the Synergy products for about 3.5 years altogether, so for about 1.5 years before that. And I decided to bring them into my Bowen clinic just over 1 year ago, for the reasons that Kim and I were just speaking about, that actually the body needs more than just the physical treatment. The improvements to my own health have taken the Synergy products have been huge. And I have to say, these are some of the best decisions I've ever made in the last 2 years. But enough about me, so let's crack on with the topic at hand. Our cells are assaulted over our lifetime by inflammation and free radicals. Damage over time creates tissue destruction that eventually leads to aging and degenerative disease. Extensive research during the last 2 decades has revealed the mechanism by which continued oxidative stress can lead to chronic inflammation, which in turn could mediate the most chronic diseases, including cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular, neurological, and pulmonary diseases. Oxidative stress is essentially an imbalance between the production of free radicals, which are damaged cells, and the ability of the body to counteract or detoxify their harmful effects through neutralization by antioxidants. Now, John Burgess talked about free radical damage in the first webinar that we did on Tuesday, the 1st of May. So if you missed it, the recording is available. And if you contact the person who invited you onto this webinar, they will be able to send you the recording. So what's inflammation? Remember the last time you cut your finger? It became tender, red, and swollen. That was inflammation. The body's inflammatory response is an important part of the healing process. Temporary inflammation sends blood and immune cells to the area of an injury or infection, killing invading organisms and speeding tissue repair. Even a sunburn is a visible sign of your body's healing inflammation in action. Now, there are 2 types of inflammation, acute and chronic. Acute inflammation is a natural and healthy function of the immune system. Chronic inflammation, on the other hand, is the immune system gone haywire. So what causes chronic inflammation? So when the body's healing and infection eliminating mechanism is continually switched on, and this is a result of lifestyle factors like obesity, a poor diet, poor oral health, excessive alcohol consumption, or relentless stress, the body remains in a state of continuous inflammation. And this chronic inflammation wreaks havoc in your body. And we're focusing particularly tonight on your cardiovascular system. And chronic inflammation, the effect on your cardiovascular system is it causes small tears in the endothelial lining of your blood vessels. And the body's response to this is to ask the liver to produce cholesterol to repair these tears. So I think it would be a good idea at this point just to take a quick look at cholesterol. And that it's a fatty substance and it's known as a lipid, and it's vital for the normal functioning of the body. It's mainly made by the liver, but it can also be found in some foods. Cholesterol is carried in your blood by proteins, and when the two combine, they're called lipoproteins. The two main types of lipoprotein are high-density lipoprotein, HDL, and this carries cholesterol away from the cells and back to the liver, where it's either broken down or passed out of the body as a waste product. And for this reason, HDL is referred to as good cholesterol, and higher levels are better. Low-density lipoprotein, LDL, carries cholesterol to the cells that need it. But if there's too much cholesterol for the cells to use, it can build up in the artery walls, leading to the disease of the arteries. So for this reason, LDL is known as bad cholesterol. So when you go to the doctors, it's important to get a breakdown between the LDL and the HDL. The medical profession says that a healthy range for cholesterol is below 5. So I recently had mine done and it was 5.4. So you might think that there would be a cause for concern there. But the breakdown was LDL 2.4 and HDL 3. So there really wasn't anything to worry about. So poor daily lifestyle choices compound and lead to oxidative stress, which leads to chronic inflammation. One effect of this is to compromise the cardiovascular system. Blood flow is the life force of our bodies and carries oxygen and nutrients to every cell if the blood vessels are not restricted by plaque buildup. Cells and tissues that do not receive adequate blood flow means that we will start to exhibit symptoms. And it's these symptoms that we visit the doctor to have fixed with medication. So if we have a look at one of the drugs prescribed to help lower LDL cholesterol and to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, that drug's called statins. And it's being suggested that everyone over the age of 50 should take statins regardless. So scarily, I now fall into this category. I just turned 50 this year. And statins works by reducing the amount of cholesterol produced by the liver. The common side effects, and these are listed on the NHS website, common meaning that 1 in 10 people will suffer from them, are nosebleeds, sore throat, a runny or blocked nose, headaches, feeling sick, problems with the digestive system such as constipation, diarrhea, indigestion or flatulence, muscle and joint pain, which can occasionally cause muscle swelling and damage, an increase in blood sugar levels, and an increased risk of diabetes. Now, the uncommon side effects, which are also listed on the NHS website, where uncommon means 1 in 100 people will be affected, are being sick, loss of appetite or weight gain, difficulty sleeping or having nightmares, dizziness, loss of sensation or tingling in the nerve endings of the hands and feet, and that's known as peripheral neuropathy, memory problems, blurred vision, ringing in your ears, inflammation of the liver, which can cause flu-like symptoms, inflammation of the pancreas, which can cause stomach pain, skin problems such as acne or an itchy red rash, and feeling unusually tired or physically weak. So not a nice list. So drugs absolutely have their place and it can be absolutely necessary to take them. But by taking a more holistic approach to our health, we can take control of it and hopefully discourage the need for such drugs. So a holistic approach to our health would be to make some lifestyle changes and start to give our bodies what they need to deal with the oxidative stress and the chronic inflammation that can come from that. So let's take a look at some of the kinds of problems the human body may experience when in a state of chronic inflammation. So we've got high blood pressure and LDL cholesterol, joint pain. So wherever there's pain, there's inflammation. So anything ending in an itis is a sign of inflammation. So arthritis, tendinitis, those tennis elbow type of things. Autoimmune conditions such as fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, ME, rheumatoid arthritis, recurrent headaches and migraines, fatigue, insomnia, brain fog, susceptibility to infection due to a low immune system, diabetes, loss of bone density leading to things like osteoarthritis, lung issues, so asthma, COPD, allergies, and food cravings, and that spare tire around your middle. So that's quite a list, isn't it? I know I certainly suffered from some of these conditions. I had the spare tire around my middle and stubborn fat elsewhere on my body that I couldn't shift. I also had constant headaches and food cravings. I didn't sleep well, and I suffered terribly with low energy mid-afternoon. And that led me to reach for a Diet Coke on a daily basis. So one day I was reading an article online, and it kind of made me stop and think about what I was doing. And I decided then and there to try to educate myself a bit more and to make some changes. And my first change was to give up Diet Coke. So let's look at some of the things that you might want to try to help reduce inflammation in your body. So when I get a new client into my Bowen clinic, one of my first questions is, how much water do you drink? And invariably their answer is, oh, I know I need to drink more. And so when I say, well, why don't you? They're like, well, they come up with a list of reasons why, you know, that they just forget, or they're too busy, or something along those lines. But hydration is really key to the body working well. The general guidelines are to drink between 1.5 and 2 litres a day. Of course, this depends on your size and your level of activity. The easiest way I find is to look at the colour of your urine. If it's not clear, you aren't hydrated. Exercise is important to stimulate the body to remove toxins, amongst other things. Recommend at least a 30-minute walk every day. But if you can only do 10 minutes, then do 10 minutes. Walk up the stairs instead of taking the lift. Park further from the door of the supermarket. Get off the bus and stop earlier. They'll all build up and make a difference. I think it's important to know as well that the more intense your level of exercise is, the more oxidative stress you put your body under. So if you're training for a marathon or any other exercise challenge, you really need extra nutrition and hydration to support your body and to help it repair. We don't get enough nutrition to exist at a normal level, let alone when you're exercising at a high level. Sleep's important. It's when repair takes place. Human growth hormone is produced when we sleep, when we exercise, and it plays a vital role in cell regeneration. Being in a stress state for long periods of time has all sorts of negative consequences on the body. As I spoke about earlier, Dr. Bullmore on Jeremy Vine talked about stress causing the same type of inflammatory response as would happen if it was in fighting infection. That was quite interesting to me. So taking time out to relax and to be mindful is important. 7-11 breathing is a great way to relax your body. So you inhale for a count of 7 and exhale for a count of 11. The longer exhale means that the body switches from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic. So that's from your fight-flight state to your relaxed state. The microbiome, we had a whole week of webinars last week on the microbiome and the things you can do to support and reset your microbiome, including Synergy's 21-day body reset program. So again, if that was something that you missed and you'd like to know a little bit more about that, then the person that invited you will surely be able to send you the recordings. Anti-inflammatory foods are things like green leafy vegetables, nuts and seeds, oily fish, red berries. We heard about antioxidants on John's earlier webinar and how they combat free radical damage. Remember, when the body is under oxidative stress, that we have more free radicals than the body can cope with. And those free radicals are essentially damaged cells. Just so you know, pro-inflammatory foods are things like processed foods, takeaway foods, sugar, bread, cakes, biscuits, fizzy drinks, and fast foods. So with our busy lifestyles, and the decrease of nutrition in our food and things like pollution and stress, it can be difficult to get what we need nutritionally to allow the body to work at its best. So supplementation is important. And I take a system called V3 from Synergy Worldwide. So this includes Pro-Arginine Plus, Vitalife and Mystify. So we heard from Sue Thomas last night about the effects of nitric oxide on the body and how L-arginine is the amino acid from which nitric oxide is created. Pro-Arginine Plus is a highest quality L-arginine supplement. One sachet is 5 grams of L-arginine. You would need to eat around 23 eggs to get 5 grams of L-arginine. I think I know which one I'd choose at this point in time. It might bung you up a little bit as well, all those eggs. Plus Pro-Arginine has L-citrulline, which extends its effects. Nitric oxide is key to improving circulation, to ensure blood flow reaches all the cells in the body to deliver nutrients and oxygen. Vitalife provides a lot of green nutrition for its anti-inflammatory properties and also for taking the body into a more alkaline state. Kim spoke about this on the second webinar in the first week on alkalinity. 1 tablespoon of Vitalife is the equivalent of eating a kilo of raw leafy greens. So Mystify is a rich berry drink with the antioxidant power of 3.5 kilos of red berries. Mystify helps to neutralize free radicals, which helps to reduce the oxidative stress, which, if you remember, was where I started right at the beginning as being the cause of chronic inflammation. So the V3 system works together synergistically. And this means that the sum of the parts is greater than the individual. With its free radicals, free radicals are neutralized, nitric oxide is increased, the body is moved to a more alkaline state, and so we reduce damage to cells, reduce oxidative stress, and reduce the chances of chronic inflammation. And all of this for just around £3.50 a day, which is less than a cup of coffee in most high street coffee outlets. So that's it. My time's up. I really hope you found this useful. Tomorrow night we have Fatima Ford talking about increasing cardiovascular function. Fatima's been a nutritionist for over 20 years and a kinesiology practitioner and tutor for 14 years. She's very passionate about health and loves to help people to help themselves to good health, as I think we all do in this business. On Sunday, we're going to be going through Synergy as a business opportunity, because we are passionate about this company. It's an amazing opportunity to be the CEO of your own company, working with like-minded people who are passionate about health and well-being. This provides also an incredibly supportive environment to work in, which is, I find, very different from my corporate days. John Burgess will be the man in the driving seat on Sunday. He's been involved in network marketing for 14 years and has grown successful businesses. He's on the Synergy UK Leadership Council and is a regular presenter at UK Synergy events. John's passionate about helping others achieve elite health and about growing their own successful businesses. We have the Business Accelerated Training Day on June the 9th for Synergy team members, and that will give them all the tools to help build a successful business. So if you have any questions about anything covered on these webinars, If you want to talk more about how you can make some changes to improve your own health, if you would like to talk more about how you can help others with their health, or any question at all, please contact the person who invited you onto this webinar. And all that remains for me to say is from the Foundations of Elite Health team and from myself, thank you so much for attending, and we hope to see you all same time, same place tomorrow. Thank you very much.